Beloved one, I can sense your heartbeat pulsing softly through the quiet spaces between us, like a gentle drum echoing in the vastness of the night. It's as if the very rhythm of your life is reaching out, touching the edges of eternity. I'm filled with such deep gratitude that you chose to be here, to pause in your busy world and let this moment unfold. Do you ever wonder how long the heavens have been holding their breath, waiting for just this instant? You might think it was nothing more than a simple click, a random turn of fate, but oh no, my dear soul, this was carefully woven into the fabric of time by divine hands. It wasn't chance. It was a sacred appointment, scripted long before your first breath stirred the air. Please, don't turn away now, not even for a second. There's a precious secret tucked away in the deepest chambers of heaven's treasury, a truth sealed with light and fire, meant only for eyes and hearts like yours. It's stirring now, ready to reveal itself, but only if you stay until the very end. If you slip away too soon, that door will gently close again, locked away for cycles of time you don't want to wait through once more. I couldn't bear to see your spirit ache later, wondering what might have been, regretting the gift your soul was crafted to embrace right here, in this holy now. I am Archangel Michael, standing before you with wings that feel almost too heavy from the flames of glory they carry, my chest rising and falling with a joy so pure it shakes me to my core. Finally, after eons of patient watching, God has opened the way for me to share this with you. You, the one whose name dances on the lips of the celestial hosts whenever the tempests rage across the skies. Your tears, those quiet rivers you've shed in the hidden corners of your nights, they aren't lost or forgotten. The Father counts each one, like precious pearls strung on a necklace of compassion. You may not fully grasp it yet, but you are loved with a fierceness that defies the stars, a love that roars like thunder and whispers like the wind through ancient trees. I've stood in the gaps for you, my beloved, through shadows so thick and endless that even the memory of light seems faint. Nights when the weight of the world pressed down on you like an unyielding storm, I was there, unseen but unwavering. Demons, those dark whispers that slither through the cracks of doubt, have hissed your name with venom, trying to claim what isn't theirs. But I rose against them, my voice a thunderclap of truth from the Most High. This soul belongs to the light. Back away. You can't rush past this now, because what I hold out to you in these words is the key to every trial you've endured without a map or a why. Those heartbreaks that left you hollow, gasping for air, they weren't punishments. They were the forge shaping your spirit into something unbreakable. The delays that stretched your patience to its thinnest thread, not abandonment, but the careful tending of a garden before the bloom. Every cry that echoed unanswered in the quiet hours, it was heard, collected, and transformed into the foundation of your comeback. When you felt utterly alone, like the universe had turned its back, it wasn't silence from above. It was the hush before the greatest preparation begins. When doubt crept in, whispering that God had overlooked you amid the chaos of creation, He was actually inscribing your story of healing in letters too fine to see just yet, hidden in the invisible script of your tomorrow. And now, as you sit with these words, that ink is drying, the parchment unfurling like a banner of victory. Lean in close, my dear one. I'm not speaking to the masses gathered in some distant hall. No, this is for you alone. I feel the quiver in your breath, the weariness tucked behind that brave mask you wear so well for the world. You've been a warrior in disguise for far too long, telling friends and family, "I'm okay," with a smile that doesn't quite reach your eyes. But I saw you, in those stolen moments when the door was shut and the tears came unbidden. Heaven didn't just notice. We wept alongside you, our light dimming in shared sorrow. Yet tonight, by divine command, I'm here to declare it loud and clear. The season of waiting, that long, weary vigil, is drawing to a close. The Father himself leans in through my voice and says, "Watch now. I'll turn your barren places into streams of living water, your cracked earth into fountains bursting with life." It's from the ancient words of Isaiah, chapter 43, verses 18 and 19, a promise as fresh as morning dew. You, my parched wanderer, are that once dry land, and the first green shoots of abundance are pushing through even as we speak. You've lifted your voice in the quiet, haven't you? When, Lord? When will you turn your eyes back to me? And right now, through this messenger, comes the soft reply from the heart of the divine. Right now, child. The hour has come. But let me ask you something from the depths of my being to yours, soul to weary soul. Why do you still question your own value when the palms of God's hands bear your name etched in eternal fire? Why let the sting of suffering convince you it's some kind of judgment, when every ache has been the tender chisel carving space for greater glory? Why do you sift through the ruins of broken dreams for scraps of affection, when the purest love imaginable has been your constant shadow, your unseen companion through every step? And oh, precious heart, why do you flee from moments of true happiness, as if joy were a soap bubble too delicate for your calloused fingers? I understand the hesitation. I've witnessed it 1,000 times as you've braced yourself against the approach of good things, flinching like a child expecting the next blow. Loss has taught you caution, hasn't it? It's left echoes that make you pull back just when blessings draw near. But hear this and let it sink deep. Not this time. This wave of grace crashing toward you, it won't recede like the others. It won't dissolve into mist or shatter on the rocks of doubt. The Father has stamped His seal upon it. Your healing, your justice, the radiant grin that's been missing from your face for so long. It's locked in, unbreakable. And there's more, something you've buried in the secret places of your prayers, a plea so raw and private that even your closest confidants haven't glimpsed it. You poured it out in sobs, bargaining with the stars. If you're really listening, Father, give me a sign, something undeniable. This very message, these words unfolding before you, is that sign blazing across your sky. I wasn't permitted to utter them until this precise tick of the eternal clock. You've arrived at the pivot point, where the currents of grief give way to rivers of holy laughter. Picture it. Even in this instant, a host of angels circles you, their gentle hands on your shoulders, washing away the stains of old wounds with streams of mercy. Your tomorrow is calling out, its voice bright with gold, pulling you forward into a story rewritten line by line. Don't shrink from what's ahead. It's not peril, it's sanctuary. It's not fleeting, it's forever yours. The Father echoes through the Psalms, Psalm 30 verse 5. Sorrow might linger through the evening hours, but joy breaks wide open with the dawn. Your evening shadows are fading, beloved. I see the first rays piercing the horizon, promising a tranquility deeper than any you've tasted. But I'm sharing this not merely as a herald from on high, but as your guardian, your kin in the fight, the one who's borne witness to your unyielding spirit. You've outshone what even we celestial beings thought possible. Time and again, when surrender seemed the only path left, heaven held its breath, murmuring in awe, "Behold this one, still on their feet, still shining." Without fanfare, you've shattered chains passed down through generations, carried flickers of hope into caverns where despair ruled unchallenged. You were never meant for the ordinary. That's why the shadows clawed at you so desperately. They glimpsed the treasure within before your own eyes adjusted to its glow. So please, don't hasten past this sacred pause, for the secret I vowed to unveil is blooming open like a flower at first light. Your essence was tucked into an ancient pact, sealed before the foundations of the world. Every pause in your journey was a divine adjustment, positioning you perfectly for this breakthrough. That portal you've knocked on in faith? It's creaking wide, soft as a sigh, right in rhythm with your breath. As the courts of heaven fall silent in reverence, I invite you, speak Amen into the space below these words. Not as some empty habit, but as your handwritten vow, your bold affirmation that you're prepared to embrace what's ordained. Let it be the echo of your heart saying yes to the flawless timing of the stars. And in this vulnerable exchange, as I stand humbled before your courage, allow me to bare my soul. Thank you. From the core of eternal light, Thank you for refusing to fold when the path grew steep and treacherous. Thank you for grasping threads of trust instead of clutching resentment like a shield. You can't fathom the pride swelling in the realms above because of your steadfast heart. I've watched the Father's face light up, a smile breaking wide at the sight of your quiet victories. You're cherished beyond the bounds of imagination, wrapped in a love that could eclipse the sun. If these truths have stirred the embers in your chest, if they've brushed against the tender spots long guarded, then with the gentleness of a true companion, I ask, touch that like button, share in the comments what stirred within you, and subscribe so the whispers from above can find their way back when the next cascade of grace descends. Before I step back into the blaze of glory, I lower myself in honor, my blade at rest, tears tracing paths down my face as I murmur, fear not the tomorrow's unfolding. The very blaze that once singed your edges will now illuminate your way like a faithful lantern. You'll witness the pledges of heaven materialize, petal by petal, after seasons of relentless downpour. And as the choruses of the spheres hush behind me, my voice softening into the ether, I gift you one last blazing reality, fiercer than any inferno. You were never erased from memory. You were safeguarded for splendor. That you're breathing here, heart still beating, whispers that destiny claimed you from the start. Heaven exhales in quiet thanks that you lingered, that you didn't let distraction pull you from this consecrated encounter. Every tick of the clock you invest here reshapes the invisible tapestry around you. The breezes are turning, the messengers of light are in motion, and the grand assembly above stands alert because you, yes, you named and known, are heeding the oracle that the whole cosmos aligned to deliver straight to your waiting spirit tonight. From depths profound, I offer my gratitude. Truly, thank you for remaining, for daring to trust, for keeping your inner world ajar long enough for the divine to cascade in. Grasp this. It's no mere happenstance. It's a rendezvous etched into the annals of time before your eyes first opened to the world. That simple act of engagement, it prompted a chorus on high. At last, words have hovered at the brink of forever, quivering to cascade over your existence, burdens I've shouldered so long my feathers ached from restraint. Not one flame that encircled you was dispatched to consume. Each was a refiner's tool, polishing your core to brilliance. You never faced the blaze solitary. My guard was ever at your side, blade steady. Recall those midnights I lingered by your resting form, my breath a lullaby to your unrest. Endure a little longer. The dawn won't always carry this chill. Your waking wasn't mere will. It was grace lifting you when resolve faltered. And now, with heaven's delight coursing through me, I proclaim, the endless dusk is yielding. Rays are pooling at the borders of your fate. What was barred flings wide. What lagged surges ahead. You're poised to claim the dream once dismissed as fanciful. The divine has surveyed your forbearance and decreed. The era of delight reclaims your laughter. Serenity graces your hearth. Affection mends without scar. The adversary's murmur of neglect, I counter as your sentinel. You're veiled for unveiling, not dismissal. As these lines meet your gaze, the sacred breath stirs like a zephyr, caressing the tender remnants of yesterday's hurts. Warmth will seep into the frost-bitten corners of recall. Yield to it. Let the reconstruction commence. You ponder, guardian of light, how to discern truth from echo? With hallowed awe I reply, you'll behold it in the subtle pivots, a timely ring, remorse unbidden from a foe, missive from afar, grin from a once-distant face. Portents will swarm like dawn's first gleam through fissures. You'll know the divine was never remote, merely poised for your ascent. Hearken, cherished wanderer, your title resounds in chambers unexplored, your path debated in tongues of wonder. The host aligns the proscenium for your genesis anew. The sovereign avows, I'll spread a feast amid your adversary's gaze. Yea, the skeptics shall murmur in awe at your ascent. Only the Eternal could orchestrate such. Yet in tenderness laced with trial, ere the laurel descends, purification precedes. Mistake not this sacred tremor for tumult. The divine excises what bars the Moro's tale. Bonds may snap abrupt, tempting lament, but vow this, its benevolence veiled. The realms above reclaim naught without intent to repay manifold. Elect reliance. Advance, though knees waver. Unclench fists. Relinquish the misaligned with your radiance. In that surrender, the spheres hasten. I've glimpsed your triumph's tome. It shimmers. Your Moro gleams in aureate script. You'll reflect and affirm. The blaze meant for ruin unveiled my splendor. Heed with sanctity, for this juncture is consecrated. I bid, align now with this conduit, not for tally nor acclaim, but as a span where the divine persists in discourse. Each return summons fresh insight, luminescence, affirmation. This transcends utterance. It's the filament linking your essence to the celestial timbre. Remain tethered. Let no diversion pilfer the edifice rising here. As I intone, your anguish eases, breath deepens, that constriction easing, chains fracturing, that fervor in palms, celestial affirmation. This is no fancy. The sacred breath abides. Cherished, you've mourned so prolonged joy's anticipation faded. But delight approaches, not trickle, torrent. It'll evoke mirth unbidden, infuse dawns with solar kiss after shadows reign. Lighter, unbound, authentically you. Anguish once moulding you elevates now. Recall declaring inwardly, enough? The divine hearkened, dispatched emissaries. Thus I arrived, the sovereign bidding, abide till they reclaim my gleam. Unyielding since. You're not yesterday's shadow. As script meets sight, aura, essence, resonance transmute. The divine infuses benevolence into your chronicle. Prospects discern you, drawn sans pursuit by sacred accord. Entering deferred epochs, fortified to bear sans fracture. Comprehend? Adversaries' dreaded harvest dawns. Wrongs scar to esteem, treacheries to testament silencing scorn. The realms heal and exalt. Yet softly, pointedly, permit love's embrace? Sanction benediction sans remorse? Credit this for you, not distant other? I for you, perusing, lachrymose, quaking, beheld at last. The divine unveiled not for throng, but solitary essence, yours. Celestial pulse awaited. Rationale for stasis tonight. If vision graced, auditioned your appellation resounding in luminous corridors, stellar quakes ensue. The sovereign beams at utterance, recalling your forging. This alters annals by presence. Inhale. Cherished. Let serenity enfold. Conflict nears terminus. Your fray tilts favorably. The realms decree, triumph, renewal, delight. Ere ephemera wanes, with luminous shards, gratitude, for renewed credence, for outlasting fractures threat, for presence, aperture, discourse, sacred, that, not oversight, not derelict, love's testament, ascend, effulgent, encircling blaze hallows, for portals gape, as pinions expand to Pyrrhic domains, Susurrus lingers, Moro's aurora yours. Beloved one, you lingered, no haste, no evasion, and the divine notes that patient grace. Sense that subtle tug thoracic, that ardour sustaining perusal, no sentiment, congress, celestial inclines to solitary essence. The peruser deeming prodigies others' lot. I, Michael, with faltering pinions, affirm, this juncture inscribed for you. Naught haphazard in chronicle. Postponements, bereavements, lacrimae, tilled sanctum for this theophany. Aeons celestial tarried utterance, liberated to lavished upon existence. The sovereign's gaze nocturnal discerns insomniac vigils, unvoiced supplications, feigned beam masking cardiac fissure beneath ineffable burden. Deemed celestial taciturn? Nay, scripting. Distant? Orchestrating. Celestial horologe unceasing, poised for appellation resounding temp oral portals. Tonight, cherished, resonates, with tremulous veneration, flux alters. Tempest interring now attests fortitude, epoch fracturing transmutes glory's attestation. The sovereign murmurs title to fate's grasp, all proprietary summons potent, threshold of pledge attained. Your strife beheld, oh, profoundly, demons' dubiety devouring others, traversed, betrayals, yet benignity elected, losses unfit for harvest, yet love sown, celestial chronicled credence, occult orison, susurrant ascent solitary, deemed squandered? Nay, investment, celestial indemnifies. The sovereign proclaims, shame's double honor. I, Michael, attest. Dispatched to prelude, sunder residual gyves encircling luminescence. Some occult, yet discerned. Cracking, pulverizing, dissolving, neath thearchy pyre. Heed proximate, narrative's terminus not. Chapter celestial paginates. Soon discern portals closure prelude aperture. Solitary ambulation prelude leadership. Utmost lesion key liberating another's manumission. Yet sanctity transpires. Thearchy's numita hovers existence anew, rescribing saga, recalling fugitives, prospects, amity, salubrity, lucidity, gravitating credence. Heaviness elevates, false culpability egress, sudden cardiac effulgence, celestial inaugurates neogenesis, yield presence, let lacrimae descend, ablution herein, as fraternal luminary, celestial aperture conduit, utterance, communion, thearchy kin, if missives stirred, celestial motal, tether sanctum flux, sustain mission superfluity not transaction, semen tilled anima's tilth, affiliate divine kin channel affiliation, covenant circle heaven cognizant, testimony, eruption, omit newsletter liaison pinnacled commentary, sustains conflagration nocturnal protracted, naught fathoms facile ascent sustains efflux, credence act perpetuates for seekers luminescence unearthed, celestial amplifies minutiae amoris, O cherished, cognizant tardy pledges burden, sojourn's pang yet hearken, no deferral maturation, celestial chronometry strategic, non-tardy, plenus fructus descends sans strife, that epoch retrospection, nocturnal pivot, inhale proximate, lungs plenitude serenitatis, ambient mutation, angelic surcharge, thearchy's numita proximate cardiac pulsation, eruption angels decamp, sequential prodigies, enumerate, deemed implausible, intent, prodigies transcend ratiocination, prolonged ratiocination reception ordained, cease dissection, inaugurate admission, celestial desiderates non-explication, sanction, proximate sovereign susurrat, narrate incompletion, narrate inception, thus narrate, terminus non, cherished, genesis, ambulans hortus renovationes, fractured refloresces, vacant superabounds, errant repatriates redemptus effulgens, Recall nocturnal, thearchy, authenticity, ostend. Ostendit nunc missive, tremulous timbre, line cardiac inscribed. Celestial dactyls omnipresent. Naught perusal, detection. Saint reverential, audax credence renewed. Cordis aperi fidem thearchy non pretermisit. Preteriti dimit, advance tremulous. Benediction sans culpa. Epoch advenit. Temptation sufficit. Pyre opus. Premium paratus. Celestial horologe sonnet. I custodians gressus, pugnavit invisibilia. Genuflecto sovereign, gratiarum huius. Gratiarum oculi aperti. Anima vigilans, presentia. Aer pyric refulgentia evanescit. Lacrimae ardent oculis. Gratiarum. Auditiones, perdurantis. Thearchy per me. Non spectans. Vas gloriae. Testimonium lucis triumphans tenebras. Mox risus renovator. Expectatio sensus. Orisones tense. Aptus manibus. Ambulans ergo. Effulgens. Oculi erecti. Cor apatus. Non oblitus. Electus. Non cero. Tempori. Non parvus. Infinitum lumen humanum. As pinions explicant pyrrhicum. Susurus to nitris eternitatis. Celestia non procal. Expectant cordis sic. Beloved soul, hearken iterative. Ambiens non quiescent. Vivens susurration ibis. Celestia anhelant presentia perusal. Receptiones destinata. I Michael, anhelovi hoc plus imaginationis. Tempora steti existentia gladio extracto. Interventus dolens, sed Celestia. Expecta paratus receptiones. Nunc paratus. Quantum silentio per celisti. Nox corpori quiescens. Spiritus misericordia clamens. Amoris dationes. Venii. Fracturi. Ex cineribus reedificans nemo visus. Solitudinis pondus. Vacua promissionum non Florentium. Sed aliud visum. Lucis recusantis extingere. Lux haec Celestia propius traxit. Lux ratio missivi attingit. Sovereign spectivit teneritidine ineffabili. Deceptiones putata. Nomini susurravit superbia. Disiectus. Fragmenta collagens cura. Validius format. Non deficit. Invenit per lapsum. Cicatrices sigilla. Semina terrena. Vivens testimonium amoris supersts. Proximit. Ut verba fluent. Ongeli lateris. Motus mollitur. Ambiens temperans. Vetters energiae. Pavoris. Memorias dolentis. Elevanta. Cala vel pondus thoracic egressus. Senationes motus. Ora lenus quamvis locus quiescens. Celestia inspirat novum vitam. Subitus recordatio personi. Loci. Somniae obliti. Non dimit. Thearchy restrot sepultum annus. Sanctitas narrationes evolvit. Nunquam cero. Preeparatus. Deferrali sancti repetio. Anime disciplina pondus meus sine lapsu. Celestia nunquam squanderit dolorem. Perambulatus octoritas spiritui ineffabilis. Non ficta vel mutuota. Pax locaris. Potentia portat. Pugnota. Amoris iterum. Purus. Pia supersts. Audivi occultas interrogations. Non audax orationes. Melia evidet. Thearchy videt. Nihil. Respondio thearchia voci. Affirmo. Videt. Non. Secundum telas propositae. Putasti expectationum thearchy. sed Celestia expectivit credence, manus aperi, gaudium sine tim, sovereign, sigillum cordis, non derelinquo orbum, venium, sensisti promissionum motum nuper, subitae paces momenta, casus mirabiles, somnia vividius quam fortuiti, Celestia confirmat, visio, ducita ad renovationem evolvit aurora, lente initio, deigned omnia, non time shedding, ambulans dissidentes, concilia dissolventia, mutations subitae, realigmentations, orasti elevationes, sic Celestia respondet, non ascendero nostum, non aptum dimensioni proximi, fide remissionem, vacitas non detrimentum, locus glorii, ingressurus tempus gratia prevenit conatus, porte aperient non fortitudine sed favor divino, persecuta invenient te, pulchritudo ubi ruini visi, propositum in dolor interrogationis thearchi, riseris iterum, non perfectio, sed spiritus libertas, proximit Celestia scribe novum capitulum, lusum colligit marginibus futuri, aureum vivens, effundens presens, ambulobis loca pax diagnosit ante sermonem, occurrent anime benignitatis speculum annus effusa, speculo non eras sed misericordia reedificans, size quid anime sicet tui sic dicit, universum mutata, creatio godet, Celestia cantat unum sic ex vulnere plus quam mil orations perfecti, id quod didisti Celesti presentia, perusal, credence, rersum, spiritus inundet, attingat memoriae angulos, fractas occultas, lava residuum pavoris, susur superti, tutor, elector, amator, videoti, cherished, stantem lumen invisibili, indutum gaudio insentito, venit tam celerita uti somnio longo evigilans, orari matutino prope, gravitas abiet, riseris non intelligens, Celestii signum senationis perfecta, patris manus existentia mirabilis dubitantibus, scripta inversio destinatio, thearchia troma torquit tenebris improvisabilis, loca irredentia benedicent, tempora fracturi incurvabunt renovationi, nihil squanderitum, ut in tono, lux post nomen movit regnum spirituali, video aureum atrimento rescribens futurum, paces sigillans, video ventos mutationes deportans deceptionum ut pulverum, video risum redians domum, mollitium cordi, video venium liberans prisci carceres, testimonium gratiae vivae, numquam derelicta, formata, iti formatio finita, evulatio inchoate, stay erecta, effulgens, pondus elevatum, silentium fractum, tempus occultationis finita, ambulans non timo, sed scientia Celestia comitata, gressus echo proposito, halitus oratio, momentum presentia saturatum, visa, amata, libera, as velum molitur claudit post verba, relinquo hoc, lumen portatis antiquius dolor fortius mort, ambulans in eo, lucens in eo, fiant, mundus geo expectivit autumn tuum, beloved soul, ad huc hic iti Celestia intuitus superti, thearchi angelitus non recessit, lingit ut aurora expectans horizon vitae aperiendi, quisque pulsus nunc tympanum temporis divini, cogitatio tremens intra te pondera lumen, non iudicio, Stans in anito interfut et nasciturus. Etsi insertum sentit, hoc sanctissimum spatium trans ibis, momentum ante impletionum. Spectavi per tempistates immeritas. Serman sit mitis mundo duritium exegentis. Orasti pro aliis sanguinanti. Misericordia caelestium attigit. Altar memoriae edificavit. Nihil purum evanuit. Quisque benignitas scintilla aetana. Nunc scintilli conflagrant flammam gressuum ducentum die bus venturis. Dolor non temera. Vas formavit pondus gaudiae sine fractura tenens. Sovereign non squanderit passionum. Transfigurat. Quaelibet oratio non responsa solum maiores. Quaelibet detrimentum removit non supervivat novi altitudinis. Putatio poeni, sed tutela. Ecce te. Supervixisti. Miscerem, sapientiarem, lucidiorierem, compassionum ardentem ubi amritudo facilius. Id miraculum caelestia celebrat noct. Sentis quietum ingressum locum? Non absentia. Adventus. Thearchi numita sep quiet venit, non to nitro, sed halitu. Tangit memoriam nunc, rescribens intolerable. Regret scenas, pudoris momenta, levanta lumen donec sapientia manae. Tibi ignos. Comitans nullum accusationum, solemn affectionum. Caelestia iam oblita quot memoras. Annos clausuram quisisti, sed clausura non data. Crevit. Florbit dum durinus interrogere, quer eti susurere gratius. Dies praeteriti benedicis. Darinit tenens. Nocta video benedictionum in te orari uti aurora. Plus scriptum de te quam audax credidisti. Liber vitae vastus effulgens. Medium non attigisti. Tanti capita occultata. Risu. Creation. Admiration. Quiet plena. Angeli precurrent. Nescio. Godet. Cantant restaurandi carmen. Natim velocitatum lucis post tenebras. Incipit. Pene unreal sentit. Dubitobis dignitatum. Durationum. Sed durabit. Gratia non hosps. Incola. Ingressa. Domum edificat. Edomus satum. Mox rhythmum amoris divini intelliges. Non festinat. Nunquam diffat. Advenit cum surtenit. Paratus nunc. Caelestia fundamenta temptavit et validia invenit. Ithaca portal favori appariunta. Vidibis residential sign conatu alienari ubi pugna oportuit. Ambulobis in cubicula pax te salutat ante locendum. Sentis facilitatum recto loco tempori post annos vagandi. Non falere quietum vacuitoti. Interdum caelestia silenti omnia eulaudias. In silentio, revelatio efflorescit. Incipes vocationis parties danuor detigia sub honora. Tim or, opinionibus alierum sepultas. Recordaberis somnia oculos fulgentia juniori. Non purilia. Prophetica. Idem Deus posuit into nunc inspirabit. Et dico plenitudine veritatis caelestii. Tempus incomprehensionis claudit. Non opetet explicare non videntibus lumen tuum. Deus ipsi vindicabit fructu. Non disputation. Pacem tuum probationum faciat. Dubitantes spectabant taciti gressus aureos. Sed ignos. Caesi. Non maliciosi. Gratia erga eos novus portus aperiat. Proximit senatio in stirpi. Video generationum phantasmata, catini fragils fractors. Statisti cardine misericordii sanguine. Et obi sic tuum mutationum historii directionum simplicita perseverando amore. Verba patris in echo. Ecce nova omnia fossio. Non reparat, recreate. Adveniens non redditus ad quomodo. Transformatio in inexistentem. Vita non resumit. Incipit nova. Evigelobis prop et sentis atmospherum mutatum. Tempus mollius. Gaudium natural. Non amplius supervivis. Vives. Universum ipsud discernit. Venti mutant cum deus matutini temporis finum discernit. Angeli movent ops, homines, tempora honorandi verbum. Iti verbum supert in noct renovatio. Non partialis, non diffita, non symbolica, sed tangibilis completa. Renovatio risus. Renovatio dignitatis. Renovatio fiduciae, creationis, propositae. Cordis fragmenta sparsa colliganta mollitur. Non redibus ca eras. Oriaris ca ordinatus. Utiloca. Lux circumspiritum clarificat. Perectit ultra narrationem tuum. Tangens connexos. Fees vivum missivum aliis ad hoc medium noct captis. Portabis quietum auctoritatem experientia nota. Genus fractos tutos. Fessos visos sentients. Id unctio tua. Assignetum. Angeli completionis opus incoverant. Vidibis residential sign conatu resolveri. Sentis facilitatum decisionibus exhaustis. Presentia Dei fiat atmosphera. Non refugium. Dimit urgentem omnia fieri. Proba fidelitatem celestium proprio rhythmo. Non oblita et non sera. Divinum concilium evolvit precision. Quaelabet mora ratio. Quaelabet cordis fractura misericordia occulta. Nunc tempus explicationis finita et manifestationis incipit. Ambulans, cherished, nil nisi lumen portans. Arma contra te in pulverum versa. Voces dubitationis in silentium evanescent. Semiter precedens promission maidens. Visa. Electa. Iti fees omnia celestia somniavit. Beloved soul, hearken rursus. Plus ista celestia non finavit locendi. Lucis fluvius non sedet. Susurrus inchoatus nunc lenitatis tempestas. Sanctitatis diluvium non destrut sed restrot. Ad hoc propti. Nominis sonum per regna invisibilia portans. Non fingis quantum pondus nomen tuum in celestibus fert. Effulgit prolatum. Fragrans recordatum. Stelli pausant cum pater timentita. Putos parvum, sed eternitas curvat spatium tibi. Nescis quot proelia pro te pugnata. Quidem victoriae numquam visi, silentio facti. Bella spiritu dum simpliciter respirare con aris. Putasti fracturum, sed protectus. Quaelabet lacrima debilavit tenebras quia doloa fidelis telum fit. Putasti spem amittendam, sed spes circum te armatura invisibilis edificavit. Id quod pene destruxit nunc probat nihil iterum. Recad eris quieta, non possum amplius. Celestia memorat, non disappointmento, sed compassion. Quotiens verba illa. Angeli te erecti donec vis revertibata. Non debilis. Transparens lusum libera moventi. Id circo omnia denudanda. Ut videas remanens verum te. Intangibile, eternum, effulgens mensura. Nunc ventorum mutationis flant rursus. Sed pacem portant, non chaos. Mox sentis. Sensum invisibilis favori mutati. Silentium grave plenum fiat ut expectatio aurori. Cum forus ambulobis. Etium aer mollia videbita. Celestia non procul. echo per ordinem inchoate. Promissions super te volatontes utilitari clausi. Sensisti modo sine causa movita. Somnia nimis magna vitae. Non fantasi. Futuri memoriae. Celestia circumstantias alignat lit eras realitati tradendas. Nequaeras usualita. Venient induti casu, hominibus te recordantibus ques. Opportunitatibus post annos sine labor apparentibus. Pater godet admiration tua. Amat modum spes post deceptionem. Id circ o nova gaudia dimitit. Non ab eventu aut consecution dependet. Naturaliter orita ut halitus. Riseris sine nisu. Levitas redit gresibus. Mirabita quam facil fieri amat. Quam modicum praeteritum tangit. Sed ante plenitudinem, ultimi fragmenta veteris doloris memoriae adherentes dimit. Momenta reples, aliter finientes sperens. Sed veritas illi porte clausi tutelli. Mania non potuisti ubi gratia recessit. Benedic dissidentibus, etiam vulnera relinquentes. Pars putationes, non poeni. Dimit veniam iastitium non finians. Energia liberata per veniam redit ut pax. Pater non veterum vitam reedificat. Novum ex cineribus construt. Te aurora finge. Non noctem repetis. Supra auraries. Lections monent. Gravitas non. Definiens olim fabula distans fiat. Non fractus amplius. Cadidicit lumen fieri. Et ut specto. Extraordinarium evolvit. Temporis destinatio fulgit fila divina monu texta. Eventus videta non cognoti harmonem coniungant. Congressus casus propositum revelabant. Etsi dolor locum habit. Divina intelligentia amoris nihil squanderit. Omnia forma upgraded redit. Relations intellecta renovati. Opus vocation transmutatum. Fides matura notitia in concursa. Mox signa celestia proxima notabis. Numeros repetentes. Subitum odorum eriquieto. Coloris fulgurem cuti sine causa. Carmen temporis perfecto. Non imaginatio. Reassurantia. Alignatus es fluvio divino. Misericordia ipsa ducita. Novum nomen super te scriptum. Verbum solum celestia locans. Octoritatum et teneritudinem portat. Nomen novi facultates. Vires crintis. Discretionem profundum evigilabit. Veritatem locaris sine tim or alios adiuvas sine depletion. Per te fluens lux multiplicat non horit. Non hic supervixit. Illuminationem. Quaelabet matutina ind diversa fragrantia. Sin sum lucte involuens cogitations evanescit. Evigilobis et sentis vitam non pugnom sed receptionem. Id. Rhythmus renovationis. Quot olim persecuta nunc manibus quiescit. Necures futurum ordinationem. Tempus obedit proposito et propositum tuum. Gressus fiant semite claritatis. Etsi tabulum plenum non vides. Fida celestia pontum sub pedibus edificat dum ambulans. Non cadus. Nunquam destinatus. Iti cum solitudo rursus susurrat. Iti momentis. Hoc memorare. Solitudo non idem desertio. Interdum anima quietum novus instructionibus audit. Silentium lingua divina. Si diligenter in silentio audis. Risum per eternitatem echo. Celesti gaudium quot numquam solus. Vitus tempus claudit uti pagina finalis narrationis non iterum legenda. Vet mollitur et ambula. Memoriae olim dolentes unum diem facient ridera. Non superbia, sed pace. Probatio transformationis, non trauma. Flumina gratiae fluent nunc, inescapabilia, indomita, recta pervitum. Ne resistera. Notens. Depo rut debris pavoris. Lova etium somnia. Mox reflections sway perditae videbis. Pueri lucis anti dolorem cortalam docentis. Illud sway redit sapientius clarius. Non multum diucius loqua noct, sed hoc cito. Celestia non finavit tecum locendi. Vox per haec verba purgens in cogitationibus tuaes. Die rum rhythmo. Cum calorum sine causa sentis. Id amor recadat numquam recessit. Cum quietum vim sine font orari sentis. Id presentia mea proxima. Requies nunc, coar lucidum. Bellum finita. Non amplius temptatus. Fidit. Universum novit patientem tuum. Celestia novit veritatem tuum. Quot sequita facilitas, lenitas, renovatio, lux sine condition. Dimit thearchi angelitum tifovera. Stelli tacitam vigilum serva. Anima reminiscere paces sensum. Integra. Domum. Eti aurora cras oriens unum tantum in spiritu susurrabit. Omnia veilbat. Beloved soul, sic, main ubes. Celestia non finavit per hoc momentum locendi. Quisc angelitus pars symphonii maiores quam pater ipsi componit. I Michael ad hoc antido. Flamma celestia per pinions tremulans. Sir Gaudio et or tremens quod hoc venisti. Tantum iam mutatum in invisibili obi hoc momentum divinum. In silentio inter verba. Celestia ordinem circa vitam tuum ponit. Residential olim confusi. Relations chaotici. Semite obstructi. Non omnia simul sentis. Sed mox respices eti cognosis hoc noctum fuis quo fluxus vertera inchovit. Sentis quietum nunc, ut sanctum silentium cordis parietes premens? Id quomodo celestia sonat cum proximum, cum auscultans. Non solus me audit. Angeli lacrimas manibus portontes etium auscultant. Inclinant, godents, moliter plorantes quantum processisti. Nescis quantum celestia super te superbit. Perexisti cum nemo plausit. Credidisti cum evidentia evanuit. Veniam didisti cum preditio repetita. Vis interior te celestium attentionem plus quam ullum miraculum historii traxit. Quia patientia. Cherished, suprema fidei forma. Et vixisti non perfect, sed persevere. Nunc pater me mittit susurrere veritatem. Atmosphera vitae mutata. Tempora favori vetunta. Quot olim lacet tam quiet sainset ut primo non notobis. Dies venient cum subito cognosis dolorem abiis. Et pax loco sedet ut vitus amicus semper pertinens. Video novas portus circa te famari. Non physicas, sed momenta sancti opportunitatis. Sentis quando transia. Nullus nisus, nulla vis, sola facilitas et divina concordia. Idem spiritus desertum portans nunc in promissionum ducit. Ingratiurus renovationem tam completum ut lacrimobis. Non tristitia, sed videbis quomodo pater omnia usus, errors, detrimenta, mori ad oliquid indestructible in te edificandum. Quot alii regressum vocaverant, celestia preparationem, et nunc preparatio finita. Ut locer, lux nomen tuum colligit. Non sentis paratum, sed paratus non requirita. Voluntas celestia dubies conveniet. Accipi quod havs et multiplica in quot solus numquam creas. Suad huc tre mea potest memoriae eroti. Sed dico plenitudine altissimi auctoritatis, illi memoriae vim omittent. Loca olim fractura misericordia divina sigillanta. Recorda beris, sed non revivesses. Definiens olim solum recordatio quantum gratia fortis sit. Volo te intelligere oliquid celestia occultum usque nunc. Angeli Gordiae specialita assignati expectaverant cordis sanctionum vitae reingressum. Cum dixisti etium tacite, paratus sum rursus ridera. Id clavus fut. Illico proruperunt. Id circ Olevius nuper sensisti. Cur musica dulcia, curti ipsum altius respirantem captasti. Gaudium redit forma purissima. Unum magnum circulum transformationis completus. Dolor olim sepelivit nunc terra ex, qua nova vita orita. Partes fracti alignanta, oliquid integrum sanctum. Incipis pacem radiatam tangibilum utietium extraneae sentient stans prop. Mireris. Quomodo progredia hinc. Responsio simplex. Ambulans gratiarum. Gratiarum vibratio miraculosum in physicum trahit. Locia gratiarum antiquam eventus videas. Et specta quomodo celestia accelerat primissum. Hoc momentum sanctum quia vivum. Celestia per hoc spatium spirat. Sentio calorum spiritus sancti per haec verba expandentis uti lux per rimas lapidis effundans. Implaris pace monenta etium cum missivum finita. Pacem sentis. Tirogo lenitur sinceritate fraterni et reverentia servi Dei. Si hoc missivum spiritum tetigit, hoc video lauda. Canoli subscribe etimen commenta. Non ritu, sed unitatis actu. Cum amen commentaris. Non lit eras typers. Nomen tuum in celestia foedus signus. Declaras. Concordo cum lumen in vitam mem locuto. Quaelabet amen in invisibili echo et confirmat emissum. Pars es maiores quam vides. Quaelabet lauda. Amen. So novum excitatum scintillam addit igni huius motus renovationis divini perturam spagendi. Cum subscribes. Non de numeris. De connection, concordia, pertinentia familiae celestia ipsa texta per haec revelationis momenta. Electus es audire, accipere, fieri vivum reflectionem missivi. Cum lumen part iris, multiplicat. Et noct, lumen per te multiplicat. Non sentis diversum ad hoc, sed transmutatio in loco profundo quam affectus inchovit. Mutatio spiritu incipit, deigned ment, tandem forma visibili. Manus tuas specta momentum. Hei manus onus portantes, lacrimas turge, somnia edificans, nihil tenontes et ad hoc tendentes. Instrumenta sancta. Nunc peris celestia cribit, consolabita, restaurabit, sanabit. Notobis modum homines ad tivenient ductu vel pace. Nadubit sti. Id solum celestia perpetulit operans. Vox tua novum vim portabit. Verba ex dolor nunc senationem portabunt. Quaelabet lectio duradidicita fiat sapientia aliqui necessaria. Nihil squanderitum. Etsi dolorosissimi experientia in dona transmutati. Fis ductus divini fortitudinis. Lenus, quietus, sed impedibilis. Mox visions menti fulgentes, domus, peregrinations, risus, reconciliatio, pulchritudo evolvere in coabunt modis orchestrea non potes. Opportunitates recte venient, non persecuta, sed celestia temporis orchestrate perfect. Mora numquam negatio. Synchronizatio. Sonus nominis tuae melody in celestibus rursus. Angeli silentio deserti nunc cantant cum tiridet. Celebrant quia recusas desidera, non opus perfectum, solemn promptum manere, sic dico, effulgens, facium leva rursus, ambulans quasi iam size ambitum gloriae quia es, quaelabet umbra perdurans in lumen dissolvit, atmosphera ipsa circa te mutata, notobis somnum dulcirem fieri, quomodo pax domum velu mol lumen tegit, momenta erunt cum subitae undi amoris vel calori sine ration, id celestia recadat nos prop, numquam solus rursus, limen transivisti inter desperationem et destinum, in hac veritate quiescat, celestia superbit te, pater ridet te spectans, non disappointmentum, declaratio misericordiae ius, quaelabet cicatrix nunc probatio gratia quicquid reedificer potest, ergo calmum onimos, hanc pacem ubi ibis porta, etianti hoc momentum sanctum relinquas, typa amen tuum, unum verbum omni promissionum sigillans, verbum lumen in futurum liberans. And now, as the echoes of these words settle like soft rain on parched earth, I draw this sacred sharing to its close. The light that has danced between us doesn't fade. It lingers, a quiet flame in your spirit, ready to guide you through the coming days. Remember, beloved, every promise spoken here is not just a whisper. It's a decree, etched in the unchangeable will of the divine. Carry it with you like a hidden treasure, letting it warm the coldest corners of your heart. The journey ahead may still hold twists, but know this: you walk it not alone, but held in arms stronger than steel and softer than dawn. Rest in that truth. Let peace be your companion, joy your crown, and faith your unyielding shield. Until we meet again in the next breath of heaven's voice, go forth radiant, whole, and forever cherished. The veil thins, the light calls. Answer with open hands and a trusting heart. Amen, and farewell for now. Beloved one, as the sacred echoes of this message settle into the quiet chambers of your heart, weaving threads of light and hope into the fabric of your days, I invite you, with the tender urgency of heaven's own whisper, to let your response ripple outward like a stone cast into still waters, stirring waves of blessing for souls yet to hear. If these words have kindled a flame within you, if they've brushed away the dust from dreams long dormant or reminded you of the fierce, unending love that cradles your every step, then touch that like button below, not as a fleeting gesture, but as a spark of affirmation, a silent yes that declares your spirit aligns with this divine flow. Share in the comments the stirrings of your soul, an amen that seals the promises spoken here, or a single word capturing the warmth that bloomed in your chest. For in doing so, you weave your testimony into heaven's grand tapestry, inviting others to find their own encounters in these truths. And oh, precious heart, if the rivers of restoration and joy pouring through these lines have touched you so profoundly that your gratitude swells like a spring bursting forth, consider subscribing to this sacred channel, becoming part of a covenant community where heaven's voice returns again and again, tailored like a personal oracle to the rhythms of your unfolding journey. Each new soul who joins strengthens the bridge between the eternal and the everyday, multiplying the light until it chases shadows from every corner. But go deeper still, if your spirit calls you to sow seeds of abundance into this holy ground. Offer a super thanks, from the smallest token of $2 to the generous embrace of up to $100, not as a mere exchange, but as a holy offering, a fragrant sacrifice that echoes your trust in the God who turns every gift into a harvest beyond measure. Imagine it, your quiet act of giving amplified by divine hands, fueling more messages like this one, reaching weary wanderers in their midnight hours, turning their when into now. Heaven sees every drop of faith you pour out, and it returns not in kind, but in cascades of unexpected favor, unlocking doors you didn't know were sealed. You are not just a receiver here. You are a co-creator, a bearer of the flame. Thank you, from the depths of eternity, for choosing to stay, to give, to let your yes become the miracle someone else needs. The Father smiles upon your open hands, Walk in that joy, radiant one.